Hi, I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of becomeabassist.com, and if you've ever experienced pain in your left hand while you're playing upright bass, then this is the video for you. I'm going to try and eliminate that for you completely in this video. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from one of the Become a Bassist subscribers, and his name was Tim. He's from Ireland, and he writes, I took up the bass guitar in my teens and got into jazz at the age of 21 after seeing a particularly amazing upright bass player. I saved up and bought a double bass and spent the next 5 or 6 years mucking around with it at home, playing along with CDs, etc. After getting married and having kids, I didn't play at all for about 5 years. Fast forward to the start of 2013, and I decided to get back to playing. Through a chance conversation, I joined a jazz trio that plays at weddings, functions, etc. It's great fun and a great challenge, but at my first gig, after playing for about 2 to 2.5 hours, my left hand closed up by itself. The fingers literally closed into a fist by themselves. My forearm also felt very tight. At the next couple of gigs, I've tried to relax a bit and have been able to control it to the point that while I feel my forearm tightening, I have been able to keep playing. Not that comfortable, but it gets me through the gig. Have you heard of this happening before, and would you have any advice? I'm really loving playing with the trio and want to make sure I don't do any damage that would shorten my career. By the way, the site is great. I'll share with all my bass playing mates. Thank you so much, Tim, for the share, obviously, and for the question, because it's something that we deal with as bass players quite a lot. This is a very physical instrument, and so I want to address your question directly. Now, it's really tempting when you start playing upright bass is the wanting to squeeze the notes, having to squeeze with your left hand to pull the strings down towards the fingerboard. And this is very tempting, but it also puts an incredible amount of stress on your left hand. And if you keep going with the squeezing, it could put you out of commission permanently. It could stop you playing altogether. So you want to avoid that. Definitely want to avoid that. So I want to show you exactly how to do this. Now, the problem is that the muscles in your hand are very small, very weak compared to the muscles in your forearm, and those muscles are fairly small and weak in comparison to the muscles in your upper arm, your bicep, your tricep, your pectorals, the muscles down your back. They're all much more powerful than both your forearm, and your forearm's obviously much more powerful than the smaller muscles in your hand. These big muscles are the ones you want to be using, your pectorals, your shoulder, the muscles down your back here. Those are the ones you want to be using to pull the strings into the fingerboard, rather than the small muscles in your hand. Because if you think about it, you're putting an immense amount of pressure on here, but immense amount of stress on the small muscles in the hand is nothing when you give that work to the bigger muscles in your arm. So you want to use the big muscles to do all the work, and the smaller muscles in your hand to give a bit of a break, to let them relax a little bit. Now, I'm guessing you stand up when you play, and that's all good. I do as well. It's a lot of fun, and I'm too lazy to carry a stool around with me. But there's something you might want to try that I think will relax your whole approach and will almost eliminate all the pain in your left hand, and will stop your fist closing up like that, because that's a really bad sign. Find a stool that you're really comfortable sitting on and sit down with your bass, just like this. And feel free to lean the bass into your body so it's at an angle. So I'll just put this camera down right here. So you're sitting down, really comfortable, not having to hold your bass up in any way. It's all just leaning into your body. That's the whole reason you do this, so the bass is leaning into your body. That way you don't have to use the muscles in your left hand to keep the bass stable. Now what you do, now that you're sitting down, is play something super simple, super slow, like a major scale or chromatic scale, but without using the thumb. No thumb on the back of the neck, so let me show you what I mean. So, open string. See how I'm not using the thumb right now. I'm using the big muscles in here, the pectoral muscle, the shoulder muscle, the muscle down the back here, I'm not sure what it's called, but we're using those muscles to pull the bass in towards our body. We're pulling the whole bass rather than just the one string. We're not squeezing here, we're pulling from here, if that makes sense. And try and do that really slow, really controlled, but no thumb. And you'll find that because you're using these muscles up here, they might actually start to be a bit sore. Now, there's not pain, it's the kind of sore that you get after you take a run or go for a really long bike ride. It's the soreness of muscles being used that haven't been used before. Because if you're having this problem, I'm guessing that you don't use these muscles to pull the bass into your body. So there will be a little bit of soreness, but it's more of a muscular thing rather than there's actually pain in my nervous system. So, no thumb at all. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this when you're actually playing, because you lose a lot of dexterity, a lot of speed. But what you're getting used to is the feeling of the big muscles pulling the string toward the fingerboard, rather than squeezing with the small muscles in your hand. Because that is a surefire method to screwing up your whole hand and not being able to play ever again. So please don't do that. Do this. And you can use whatever exercise you like. You can use a chromatic scale, you can use major scales, you can use songs if you like. But the point is to get used to using the big muscles back here, not the small muscles in here. Now, the other problem it could be is that your action is just too high on your bass, meaning the strings are just too high off the fingerboard, and you're actually having to put an excess amount of pressure just to get the strings to sound, which is a fairly easy fix depending on what kind of bridge you have. If you have an adjustable bridge, meaning you can adjust the height of the strings on the bridge, then maybe take it down as much as you need to. And otherwise, if you don't have an adjustable bridge, it's more of a tricky fix. You might have to get your bridge taken into a luthier, and he might be able to sand it down. But work on technique before you try and fix gear, because technique you'll have forever. Gear is temporary. Now, you may not think it's actually possible to play without using your thumb, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, starting to use these big muscles in here. But I can assure you that if you try this, and you can start emulating that same feeling while you're standing up, you'll eliminate probably 90% of the problems that you're experiencing right now. Now remember, it's rather than holding your bass in one place and squeezing the notes out of them, you're bringing the bass into you, you're leaning it into you and pulling backwards, and that's what's creating the notes. I hope that answers your question, and if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to email me directly at becomeabassist@gmail.com. And if you haven't already done so, head on over to becomeabassist.com. Make sure you go to the Upright site. It's upright.becomeabassist.com. And check out all the other videos we have there. Make sure and sign up to the Become a Bassist newsletter right on the right-hand side there. You'll get all the best stuff from Become a Bassist sent straight to your inbox. Thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate it. My name's Luke McIntosh, creator of becomeabassist.com. And until next time, keep playing. I'll see you soon.